Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Monday to you and your family. Hope you're having an amazing day here. We're taking another look, of course, at Bitcoin, helping big picture understanding of, and obviously making sure that you are a better trader. And if you want that for yourself, just keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, but I love teaching people to trade, and I do have a trading academy, community, and signal group. It's all located here at CryptoCache.tech. Link down below, of course. We've got over 200 active members right now at this time, and it's an awesome experience to be able to kind of just share that with you and to help you become better traders. And speaking of better traders, I mean, take a look at some of these results we have. First of all, SAC is essentially sacking the competition with the Dogecoin, 428%, nice long there. And then we got Laros here again, back at it with 75x using my favorite exchange, Bitget. Okay. Now, Bitget is phenomenal. It does allow for you to benefit from a monthly prize pool every single month, and we do have $10,000 prize pool currently. Next month is King's Cup, so we're going to be registering for that. It's more of a global event, but regardless, there's a tremendous amount of benefit here. Whereas a good $3,000 is available for the top 3 profit and loss ratios, 3,000 in trading volume. Then, of course, for those of my members who actually traded over $3 million in volume in that 2-week period, they're also going to receive an extra $1,000 per person. So really cool, easy money in my opinion, just by using the best exchange in the industry. So if you are a US member, or US resident rather, of course, when you register, just make sure you choose other. And then of course, make sure to use obviously my link in the description below if you want to benefit from those competitions. And just in general, fantastic level 2 data, just extremely comfortable user experience. I can tell you anyone that's used it has loved it. There's a small handful of exceptions for those who haven't, but I can tell you it's few and far between. Be sure to check that out. So here's the thing with Bitcoin. We kind of already know this, but the price has been coming down for the last 24 to 48 hours. And the main reason why is you can see it kind of got hit with this resistance level at 21,000. It tried to retest that twice, wasn't able to break through, and that makes perfect sense. It happens because when you first retest a key level resistance, specifically a Fibonacci retracement level, you're going to see some resistance at first. It rarely just breaks right through the first attempt. Okay, and there was a second attempt, failed, but that was over the weekend / Friday. So again, not a tremendous amount of volume to allow for that to happen. That being said, the price has taken a bit of a turn, and main reason why is dollar index is up and traditional markets are down, which is not a big surprise when this happens, and Bitcoin is following suit. The thing we need to recognize, though, is that the price action here coming down for traditional markets actually might be a good thing, because what it's doing is it's baking in that lower price for the potential of an increase on the Fed rate meeting, which is slated for, I believe, Wednesday the 2nd. So November 2nd, we should expect to see some volatility as per usual. The likelihood of further increase from there is greater if the price goes down between now and then. If we go into that being overextended, that would be disadvantageous. So I'm actually kind of inviting and hoping for the price to come down further, so it kind of helps us get some better results when that happens, and it won't be so dramatic. Okay. Again, just some little things I kind of like to think about, kind of help you kind of just try to be more mindful of big picture stuff too, because that all factors in here. Obviously, technical analysis has a lot to do with it, but fundamentals, of course, too. Typically, it's 50-50 in a lot of ways. So let's look at that other 50% and see what's going on. So RSI is calming down closer to 50. I think if we maintain 50 or higher, we're going to be just fine. That should put us at a price point of 19,800 or higher. In other words, the price were to retrace that low, we should expect a bounce off that area. I don't think we're going to see that low of a price point. Hypothetically, we may see 20,000, because that was the most recent low back on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, and that would be a positive to see a bounce right there, kind of a double bottom before the price increases. So again, small handful of things that could happen, but at this point, nothing crazy, as we're not looking too terrible. We are losing momentum, of course, on the MACD, which makes sense, because you got to keep in mind, we were 7 days, if I recall correctly, 7 days into this continuation period. Okay, so if you see 7 on a T sequential, especially on the daily, you can't really expect too much more upside from there. Okay, so again, 7 days worth of bullish momentum. Makes sense we have a couple of red days here. We could very well see another 6 or 7 red days. Keep that in mind. This may not be permanent for the increase, but the key is for the next low, if we were to have another low, to be above 19,800. That's the key here, or preferably 20,000, of course. So as long as we stay 20,000 plus, I think we're going to be just fine. I'd love to see this whole week be just kind of an average of 20,000, build that base, that foundation, and then the price increase from there. Obviously, we don't always get what we want, but hey, you can hope for the best, right? But it is also important to expect the worst, and that's the key takeaway here. So taking a look at some of the moving averages, they're averaging out right between 19,600 and 19,800. Those are the standard. That was a standard price range where the price was really stuck below there. It was stuck on stupid, as I called it, and then of course it broke through once it hits this key level resistance and broke through it. Okay, so again, multiple retests of that 19,800 level caused the price to shoot up, and now we're going to expect that to be a support level moving forward. So 19,800 to 20,000 is a key support range for us right now. Okay. Looking at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Of course, when we take a look here, we can see some positive. We are still above 20,000, and that's a good thing. So as long as we don't have a candlestick closure today, again, below 20,000, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape to continue to maintain higher lows. Okay, so a lot of times when you see higher lows like this forming, it'll eventually and inevitably break out to the upside with an ascending type of wedge pattern where the price action continues higher. Okay, now again, do we want that to happen? No, we don't. We don't want that to happen today or tomorrow. Preferably on Wednesday when the price action wicks down to some crazy obnoxious level and then shoots right back up. Or hypothetically, we could see the inverse. If we stay too high in the price action, the price bounces up and gets dropped like a rock. Those things definitely happen. So again, it's nice that the price is retracing a little bit to kind of bake in that price in case there were to be a basis hike rate of 0.75 or higher. Okay. If it's higher than that, of course, it's probably going to be a lot different story. But if it's been pretty consistent like it has been so far, I think 0.75 would be the expectation. And if that were to happen, it would continue to go higher if the price is lower between now and then. All right. So again, it's all strictly hypothetical for the moment. We truly don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is what we have here so far. We're under 50 on the RSI on the 4 hour. We're just kind of reiterating the fact that we lost that key level support here at 20,500. It is tentatively below that. Don't get me wrong, we're not officially there, but on the same accord, we kind of are too because that candlestick pushed it really low. Again, that was today's open. We could very well close higher, but it's not terrible that we're going down right now. Keep that in mind. This is not a bad thing. In fact, I'm very actually kind of slightly happy about it because it'll just give us better entries later in the week. Okay, so again, be careful trading into the Fed rate meeting, but if you were to do that, just have some nice stop losses in place to be on the safe side. So looking at the 1 hour, we want to take a quick look at the cloud, of course, and this is very, very standard stuff here for the cloud to, in these ascending type of trends, when you lose the ascending trend line, which we saw here, this ascending trend, and once we lost that, we've effectively, broke bearish, right, if you will, broke bad, if you will, and in that sense, when that happens, you're typically always going to lose the lower and or upper lead on the cloud. So what that basically just implies here is that a short position seems more viable than a long position in the regard of the fact that we're below the cloud, conversion lines below the baseline. Actually, I think they're fairly close, but it's basically the same. And then we got the lagging span free and clear price action. So this is by no stretch like a great sign to take a short position. It's just telling you and confirming that we did lose our long confirmation and that you should have already taken profits by now if you had a long position open. Okay, so just because a long position should be closed doesn't mean you have to open a short. Okay, please understand that. That's considered over trading. Again, if you're day trading, different story. I have some day traders in our community. They're just phenomenal. They're really, really good at picking up on those things. And that's perfectly fine. That's not a problem to quote unquote overtrade as a day trader. Because that's really basically what you're doing. But if you were to be more so swing trading or just kind of conservatively jumping in and jumping out, you want to wait for confirmation more so. And right now we don't have confirmation that a long position is ideal. It's basically telling us that if you have a short open, you may want to keep it open because it's still kind of giving us the signs here. Okay. Again, that's really up to you and how you want to trade. I highly recommend waiting for confirmation when we don't have it yet. Okay. And to me, confirmation would be a closure today above 20,500. That would be a bullish confirmation, so to speak. But if we close below 20,500 today, we can expect probably a retest of 20,000 in the next couple of days. Again, that wouldn't be a problem if that were to happen. I don't see that being an issue. All right, so obviously we'll bridge that gap when we get there, but the last thing we want to take a look at here would be TD sequential and just kind of summarizing the fact that there's not a lot of consistency hitting 9s. We're hitting like 5s and 6s quite frequently. So that's being down to a 4. There is potential for a retest of this level, but you can kind of see how it worked, right? This is how support turns resistance. If you see that level right here at 20,500, again, I'm paraphrasing, it's 20,450, but 20,500 essentially got retested about 5 or 6 times there in that that 10-hour state, right? Comes up here to bounce, kind of gets rejected off this ascending trend and comes right back down and now it's retesting this as a resistance. Okay, so we can expect 20,500 to be the new resistance for the next couple of days, unless of course we get a closure above that here today on the daily. All right, so again, small handful of things to kind of think about, but at this point, that's roughly where we're at. Let's see if there's any overextension, of course, as well in the smaller time frames. We can see the volume is basically telling us we got pretty overextended down here, and a lot of my day traders, they'll buy these dips here and write it out and then close their trade right there. Again, those are volume weighted average price trades, or VWAP trades that I like to call. One of my favorite indicators on smaller time frames, more of a traditional indicator, but you can also use Bollinger Bands in a very similar way. Okay. Now, that being said, we can see we're getting rejected off the Bollinger Bands there as well. And then, of course, the volume weighted average price line right here telling us, hey, the volume expressed as a price should be 20,530, whereas the price came up there to hit that resistance level and got rejected. All right, so really cool stuff here in the sense of the fact that it's kind of doing what you expect it to do now that we've broken that ascending trend and we're descending now. Just a matter of how much lower it will go. I'm hoping for a bounce off of 20,000. If we lose 20,000, 19,800 is a good support range. We have a tremendous amount of volume at that area. Obviously, in the most recent past, more volume at the lower 19,000 range. But that's not something we really want to concern ourselves with because we've got so much support between now and then. The likelihood of seeing that, a retest of the low 19s, I think is very, very low. I do foresee 20,000 being the most immediate lowest point that we're going to see. Again, a lot of different things could happen, but don't be stressed or worried that Bitcoin's price is going down in the next couple of days. If it were to, I would just say more of a buying opportunity. I'm actually comfortable with a buy order at 20,000. In fact, I've got a healthy buy order for Bitcoin at 20,000, and of course, low 15s and upper 14s for Ethereum. So just again, some things to kind of think about, but generally speaking, not in dire straits by any stretch. I hope that you learned something here today, of course, and if you did, comment below, let me know. If you want to become a better trader, again, CryptoCache.tech is a website, link down below. And then obviously make sure that, if you were to use a good exchange, you use Bitget and the link in the description below so you can be eligible for all the prize pools that we have. Those are monthly options and just really easy money in my personal opinion, just for using the best exchange in the industry. All right, I hope that you have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.